Alright, so here's another recipe for your chicken thighs. I think this is one of the best deals right now for protein at the grocery store. You can see this is 2 and almost 3/4 pounds for $8.50. These are skinless, boneless thighs. They cook real well. They're fairly thin, and you can do your salt and pepper and your barbecue sauce and your Italian dressing and all those things that we've already done before. But I thought I'd spice it up a little bit. I got some buffalo wing sauce. This is Texas Pete. You can use whatever buffalo wing sauce you want, just for a little bit of spice. Basically, you're going to take these out of the package, stick them in the bowl, drown them with the sauce, mix it up a little bit, and we're going to stick it on a hot grill. Alright, so once your chicken's in the bowl, the next step is the not so complicated part. You're just going to take your hot sauce and just kind of dump it in there. I use typically almost half the bottle here, and then take a pair of tongs here and just kind of mix it up a little bit, kind of twist it around there, get them all in there. I let them sit for probably about, I don't know, 10-20 minutes in the refrigerator while I get the grill nice and hot and clean and scraped off and ready to roll. Don't really think they need to marinate, but for some reason I just think it's better. Just make sure you get them all mixed up in here. Everybody gets nice and coated. Alright, then you come to your grill. Real hot. Turn all your burners on. And stick them on, they're on high, stick them on low while you scrape it down. Take your scraper here. Just make sure you clean this off really good before you stick them on there. Some people like to do it more than once. But I think especially with skinless things, you need to make sure this is really, really clean. And once that's clean, we're going to start cooking. Alright, it's time to start cooking. The grill's clean, the grill's hot. Little trick here, make sure when you put these on that they're open like this. A lot of times they're going to be kind of folded. So they make sure they're fully thawed and make sure that they are all the way open. That's a real thin one. Probably going to put that towards the front. See how we're kind of flaring up a little bit? You don't want a lot of flare, so I'm going to turn that burner off. I usually like the grill to be around 380 to 400 when I first put them on. Then I'll let them kind of simmer down a little bit and chill out. So anyway, you see what I'm doing here. You're just going to line them up like that. And then, with chicken, especially with thin chicken, slow and low is your tempo of cooking. So, once I get them all on there, I'm going to take my far right burner, put it on low. I'm going to take this one off, low, and off. And I'll shut her down and cook them for about 10 minutes and then flip them. Alright, so what we're at here is we're at about 8-9 minutes. Notice there's no flame. We're only at about 340 degrees, which is a little bit lower than I like, but the point is nothing's burning. We've got, remember, this is off, this is on basically low, off, and more or less low. Okay, so we're going to turn it up just a little bit, not a lot. Don't get overzealous here. Let them kind of take their time, especially at first. We'll check to see how it's just kind of sizzling. You hear that? A little bit of smoke. This is perfect. Don't rush the process. We'll check back in 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, so we're right at 350, roughly 5 degrees. Been cooking for about, I'd say about 22 minutes roughly. We're going to take them and we're going to flip these guys over. The goal here is to not have anybody burnt. You don't want any of these guys burnt. They're going to stick a little bit like this. This does happen sometimes, especially with the thinner ones. Don't get too worked up about that. But for the most part, they're going to come off pretty thin and pretty easy. So flip them over, and then when I flip them over, I kind of clump them together, because at the end I'm going to pour more sauce on it. So I go ahead and make sure that when I flip them all together, or flip them all over for the first time, that I already have them in place. Whoops, see, that one broke. That happens. For when I pour the sauce on it. So the key here is this is easy to do. It's also very easy to mess up. They're cooking nice and slow, which is going to make them a lot more tender and not burnt. And now they're kind of stack them all in there. What I do, push them all together, And I'll shut it down for about 10 more minutes. Alright, your last and final step is you're going to take your Texas Pete and you're just going to pour it on top. Let it sit for a few minutes, turn off your flame, and you are done and ready to eat.